Hopefulness 2.0, March 14th. Oh, hey, it's Pi Day. I didn't even realize. Man, I know I haven't been very consistent doing these videos. I don't even remember the last time I made one. It was, what, December? Maybe January? I don't know. Things are still pretty much the same for all intents and purposes. I'm not making enough money. I'm working hours I don't like. I just got off of a couple of sick days though, and I gotta come back in today. Normally it would have been tomorrow. One of the guys at work is also in, he's also in, I think he said he's in the hospital after surgery for something. Which is probably, it's more info than I should know, to be honest. I felt like crap on Friday afternoon. Like, I woke up around like 2, and I was like, oh, I'm not going to work today. Nope, not having him. I could barely breathe. I'm still having a hard time coughing. There's that going on. Oh, I think I slightly missed. Such just life. But I'm feeling better. Like, whenever I get sick, depending on the type of illness, it can be kind of like a natural disaster. Hurricanes are the worst. Hurricanes can cause massive amounts of damage that can take literally months to overcome and rebuild on. Water related usually is the biggest issue. A tsunami, obviously, pretty terrible if you look at, Fukushima, of course. Earthquakes can be bad, but most earthquakes are manageable when it comes to, if things are done properly. If you look at California and you look at this recent 7 plus quake, and then you look at Turkey and look at their recent 7 plus quake, there's a huge difference when it comes to standards and practices when it comes, safety and buildings and all that stuff. So, but for me, when I get a cold, which I'm pretty sure this is what it was, because I felt it, like it happens exactly the same every time I get a cold. I think I might be getting sick. I'm telling myself I'm probably sick. And then usually on the 3rd day, it's like, yeah, I'm sick. Because I'll cough a little bit more, but because I have a pretty frequent, regular cough, it throws everything out of whack. I cough more frequently than the average person. What that's from, I don't know. Probably growing up with a smoker in the house. I don't know. Maybe it had something to do with having gas stoves in the house. I don't know. That being, a thing that has been a thing recently. I haven't been cleaning nearly as often or cooking as nearly as often. I'm just miserable. Straight up, I'm just miserable. And I've been in a place like this before. The last time I was like this was when I was living in Texas, but post getting a new car. Before I had the old car, when I had the old car, it wasn't nearly as bad because I had a lot of disposable income. But then when I got the new car, because the old car, shit the bed, it was just a constant struggle daily to give a shit about anything, really. And then I got in my head, I'm gonna move to New York. And I was prepping for it. I was getting that's what I was going to do. And then I ended up moving here after spending a month on the road. And it's funny too, because earlier while I was, kind of prepping stuff and thinking about things, I was like, yeah, moving to New York probably would be the better idea because, like, I don't have, like, the closest grocery store to me is about a mile away, which isn't a long distance, but it's a long distance when the bus only comes like every 10 or 20 minutes. I don't even know how often it comes because I don't even use it anymore. And it's like, and the reason I was even thinking about it was like, I was looking at Instacart because I need to get some groceries today, so that I can kind of just stock up for a bit. And I was looking at just a pound of butter. It was like 8 something. What the fuck? When a staple like butter is that expensive, holy shit. And that's the cheap store brand. Like, what the fuck? And I'm like, it'd probably be easier to live in New York. That's where I got the idea. Because, like, the nearest place to buy groceries... Hold on, I'm going to turn on the fan. The nearest place to buy groceries is a liquor store right down the fucking street at the corner. And there's probably, like, 10 liquor stores between here and the nearest grocery store. Now, if all of those were, like, just tiny grocery stores, that would be awesome. That would be amazing. But that's not what they are. I was gonna make some bread today, but I think I go ahead and make pizza since I realized it was Pie Day. Why the hell not, right? Hell, might as well get it out. Ooh, looking fluffy. This is half of a full. This would be what I would. Smells interesting. This would be a normal loaf. If I were to just take this and make bread, but because I want to do pizza, I'm gonna cut it in half basically. It's 5 versus 320. So 302 versus 302. Cool. That works out. Let's go ahead and find something to maybe put this in. I don't know, we'll see. Just kind of shaping it so that, you know, when it proofs, rises in a little dough ball. I stopped filling up this soap dispenser because it's just a pain in the ass, and I just use an old soap bottle. But yeah, I was thinking, like, when it came to groceries and stuff, fuck, this bar is cold. I was like, how am I gonna do this? How am I gonna... See, I can't even get my shit together inside the house, so it wouldn't matter if I moved to fucking New York. I would fail that too. I got a giant ass mess of just stuff. I haven't really cleaned this place in forever. I kind of, it's kind of sad how this video series is almost like the way that I have some sort of self-accountability. Okay, let's see. It looks pretty good. I don't know if I'll need to do anything to it. Just put some olive oil on it. I did use it a few days ago for bread. By the way, oregano smells fucking amazing. Like, I don't know what the hell makes all of the flavor or aromatic compounds oregano, but good God, is it fucking amazing. Basil's okay. Fresh basil, it smells interesting. I mean, basil still smells good. It's more subtle. So I do the whole Adam Ragusa thing where I season the pan before the pizza goes in. That way, you got kind of like a little seasoned bottom crust thing. It works out really well. I'll just put the lid on that. I also have a lot of baked potatoes. Did it again. Let's get a hand towel, rather a kitchen towel, out of the kitchen towel drawer. Ta-da! I have a couple laying around. It's just, you know, it's harder to deal with them when the, time comes. I need a container to put this in. Go ahead and just, fuck it. Let's just use a plate to put you on here. Alrighty. And then, I know what I can do. Put it over here under this. So I'll show you. I put it under here. Hey, you can see me. Ta-da! And I'll just leave this like this, and it'll spread out, relax, do its thing. I probably won't make this meat. I might make it tomorrow. I don't know. Yeah, I gotta restock up on some stuff. That's the poverty thinking in me, I'm sure. Because I mean, I still have, I have a fucking 10-pound bag of potatoes. But I need to restock on a couple essentials, including some medicinal related stuff. So I put you up. Put you up too, why not? I gotta stop dicking around. It's hard sometimes. Part of it is because I'm playing too much EverQuest. I'm aware of that. There's some FOMO that's involved. There's sense of accomplishment. Because, it's not like I can do much outside of the house on my time off. And, what was, Friday and Saturday I was sick. Now, it just so happened that, some EverQuest related stuff was happening on those days. So, I didn't even know. I knew that one thing was going to happen. I didn't know another thing was going to happen. But I happened to be sick. And I'm just chilling. Trying to figure out what the hell to do with myself while I'm, coughing crap up. And my nose felt like it was both on fire and a piece of ice at the same time. And then, that's just the thing that was happening. But I know I gotta do some, there's a lot I gotta do. There's a lot I gotta do. And I feel guilty every time I don't. I feel stupid or I feel worse in some way or another, and I insult myself because that's how I learned to live. Sadly, in my household was to treat myself like crap when things didn't go right, which I'm sure is totally healthy. /S. I forgot to put the lid on this, so we'll do this. I realized I don't have to cook pasta in this every time. I can do it in the... it's not the best receptacle, but I can do it in my skillet. Which looks nasty as hell, but I mean, I've cleaned it. It's aluminum. It's not stainless, so that's why it's going to have discoloration. It's 10-inch. But it does the work. It's been doing the work for quite a while. I think this was one of the first big purchases that I ever made once I was like, besides like, some headphones or whatever, like this was the first like household, real big first household purchase. Something beyond sort of my everydayness of things. And I mean, yeah, there's going to be a day when this thing turns to shit and I'm going to have to get rid of it. I don't know when that's going to be. Because I mean, I could take a scouring pad to this and do a pretty good job of cleaning it up. Because it didn't look like this when I first got it. It looked more like this. But I know that when the time comes to replace this, I have a better idea of what I want. And what I should get. What I will get specifically, I don't know. I might get something from Made In or Mizzen, who knows. I might get another Volrath. But like a lot of the items that I have, I got because they were reasonably priced and had longevity attached to them. Because those were things that I needed when it came to being post-homeless. But yeah, I could put some water in this and then boil up a single serving of elbow macaroni. Which isn't really one serving, depending on how you want to look at it. But it's whatever, it doesn't matter. But I mean, like, most of my kitchen stuff, for instance, is something like these containers, I'm totally keeping for as long as I possibly can. Because, I mean, they're just stupidly handy. There's measuring cups that came with them that aren't necessarily the best, but I'll keep them just cuz. But if I end up losing one or something, it's not going to be that big of a deal. And these little bad boys, Chipotle's and adobo, holy crap. This is what I've been missing when it came to the concept of barbecue. Like, this is barbecue in a fucking can. It is so goddamn good. It's literally everything I want. I mean, chipotle peppers, onions, vinegar, tomato paste, iodized salt, dried pepper, sugar, soybean oil, spices. Like, none of that seems to matter, but it's the spices that seems to matter the most. Product of Mexico. I don't know if it's Vilore Foods, Vilore Foods Inc. Medical Drive, San Antonio, Texas. This is distribution though. But like, these are like $1.50 roughly, and I'm putting this in like everything now. Like, I don't need barbecue sauce. This is the barbecue sauce. It really is. In so many ways. It's so fucking good. Like, I made spaghetti sauce, and instead of putting in my hot sauce like I normally do, I just dumped one of these in there. And it made the spaghetti sauce, like, really good. And then I'm using that spaghetti sauce as a pizza sauce, too, because why the fuck not? But yeah, when I first tried these, I was like, this is... Because I mixed it into... The first thing I did with this was... I think I had already had some pizza sauce made, which is basically just ketchup, because it's one of these cans of tomato paste. Dump that out. Throw in an equal amount of sugar. Dump that out. Scrape out as much sugar as you possibly can, and then an equal amount of vinegar. Mix it all together, and it's a nice, easy to spread sauce. Super simple. It's basically ketchup. And that's what I was using as a pizza sauce. I got the recipe from Adam Ragusa. He used it. It was his recipe for his meatloaf, which, looking back on it, I'm like, I don't care about meatloaf. Like, after having made it a couple of times now, I'm like, it's really not worth it. Like, financially speaking, and then also when it comes to the overall, just like, taste profile. Even listening to what he was doing, he was talking about everything, it's just not really worth it. It's not something that I care about. It's not bad, but it's just, I don't care. I'm indifferent to it. I am ambivalent. And so, it's just like, all right, cool, whatever. I'm also getting some ingredients so I can make cookies. But yeah, this, I'm putting in everything now. Like, this is a household staple now. This is butter to me. This is butter. This is milk. This is flour. This is a pantry staple that I am not going out. I'm not gonna have none of this in the house now. Forever. Like, this shit's fucking perfect. I mean... I don't know why, but like the first time that, and when I put it in that pizza sauce, if you will, aka ketchup, it was like, it took me back to like real barbecue. Like, I've had barbecue out here, and I'm sure there are places out here that do great barbecue, but like, it reminded me of what barbecue tastes like. The last time that I can recall having like good barbecue, and most of the time when people talk about good barbecue, it's really the sauce. Because like the meat is more of a delivery system, but when the meat is cooked properly, it in and of itself tastes amazing. But usually there's some kind of rub on it too, which creates a bark. That bark has a bit of a smokiness to it, but then it also has whatever the flavors that are involved in whatever was in the rub, usually some sugar and various other spices and stuff. But I hadn't had that experience in so fucking long. The last time I can recall was when I went to Red Hot and Blue in Texas. By far the best barbecue I had ever had at the time, and I had been living in Texas all my life. Like, basically the best barbecue you can get in Texas is in someone's backyard. It's not at a store. It's not at a restaurant. And I got it from a fucking restaurant. This took me back to that. It's just spicy enough that you're like, okay, this could be problematic for some people. This is not spicy, but it's not like this isn't a Hot Ones episode either. I would say the equivalent heat is about as hot as their whatever not their first one, their middle road one, Los Calientes, which means Hot Ones. Los Calientos. Right in the middle of the road, not too hot, and apparently you can take the peppers out and it be less hot. I like keeping the peppers in because I like the heat. And it's about as hot as I can handle now. Like, I've tried more heat in some capacity or another, and it's just, I start getting heartburn and shit, and it sucks because I'm just like, fuck, I love me some hot sauce. And I still have those blended ass Serranos that are in there. They're still fine because, you know, there was a shit ton of vinegar in them. But yeah. I'm supposed to be doing stuff. Dishes. Because I got other dishes to handle. That's it, clean you are. Yep, alright, cool. Except for that, but whatever. It's just a little bit of chicken that got cooked on there when I was cooking chicken. Just leave that there for now. But yeah, I don't have to use the big pot for spaghetti, which is helpful. I usually use elbow noodles, just because, I mean, it's like, why not? Throwing this and everything, because why not? I got a bigger one of these. I haven't been doing that nearly as much as I should have been. I gotta go to the fucking drugstore at some point, get my goddamn prescription. I mean, I've been missing out on taking the damn thing so much. I think like the next time that I have a phone call with a psychiatrist is gonna be about when I'm gonna need to get it. I don't know. We'll see. You know, sadly, I'm not really looking forward to the future. I want to call this hopefulness. I keep doing it because I have a new psychiatrist. Shit, that thing's still hot. It should make sense. I got a new psychiatrist. Sadly, I really, really liked my last one. She was awesome. You know, she would spend a lot of time with me. She was a better therapist than my therapist. I even told her, like, if you go into private practice, which I know you're probably not gonna if you're working in government, but if you ever go into private practice, I will tell as many people as I possibly can. And I will attempt to be one of your clients again if possible. I think she ended up going into an administrative position or something, but and I was hesitant to, you know, when I was handed off to her too, but like literally like the first one I think was, I don't know, I could go back and find out, I don't know. But I recall like, ah, shit. Well, that's unfortunate. Rinse you off like I was planning on anyway. I was supposed to have more counter space when I got the dishwasher. I seem to have less. I don't know. Probably because I'm just not organized in general. You out. I had to do the double runs with the vinegar, because that's literally the thing that has been working since I started it. Like ever since I started doing the double runs with vinegar first and then soap next. What the fuck? I don't know about this though. I'm just. Yeah. I mean, I'll admit, like, doing these, it gives me the ability to, like, be in the kitchen and then, like, take care of the kitchen for a bit. So, it kind of makes sense that I would, maybe continue to do this. I don't know. We'll see. Sure, it helps with self-accountability. Talking my thoughts out. Nobody's listening. It doesn't really matter in the end. Again, this is more of a public diary. Not only for myself, but like if anybody actually does give a shit from the present or the future, then at least, there's some information to be had. Transition is more interesting, for sure, which is probably why my life is so interesting, because there has been so much transition. It's like when I hear about like somebody, I was reading, I think it was a movie details post on Reddit earlier. It was about 2 Wes Craven films, re the Nightmare on Elm Street series, and how like of the like first and the last. Like, the first kill that Freddy had of the first movie is the same as, like, the last kill of the movie, like, 10 years later that was also a Wes Craven production. Because, like, not all of them are Wes Craven productions. And usually, like, Wes Craven, he was amazing. Like, his work was phenomenal. And of course, he wasn't involved in every single Friday the 13th film, because once a distribution company like Warner Brothers, whatever, comes out and has something, they'll just start making whatever the fuck they want. And if they involve somebody like him, James Cameron, for instance, is generally good with certain things. I understand the new Avatar film is better, but I don't plan on seeing that in theaters. Because like the first one was good, but it was like there's Dances with Wolves in space with blue people. And like, I don't even remember why I wanted to see the first one, other than maybe just hype. I don't know. But somebody had mentioned that they worked on one of the Nightmare on Elm Street films as part of the special effects crew, and then they ended up in the industry for like 30 years, and I'm just like, how the fuck does anybody do something for 30 years? Like, I'm 41. But then again, if you look back in time, 30 plus years ago, the 80s and 90s especially, that was when people could say, hey, go bother this person, every day, and you'll get a job from them. Part of it was because that's white people advice. Part of it was privileged white people advice. Adam Savage, that's basically how he got his job. And that's why he's been able to stay in the industry for so long. And he had people who knew what he liked and knew what he was good at, and like his parents paid attention to him and shit. And so there's so many factors that are involved in success like that. And then, there's obviously if you like doing that thing, you might keep doing it. So I don't know. But, and then that goes into a whole other conversation about just jobs and work conditions and pay and all sorts of other stuff. Another conversation for another day. So, at this point, I'm tired, even though I just had most of my coffee. I'm kind of disappointed in the Awesome Coffee Club coffees. Not that great, sadly. Just about as normal as everyday coffee, sadly. But it's whatever. It's life. I did try a trade coffee though, and that was fucking good. It wasn't my style, but for what it was good. It was good. It tasted and smelled amazing, but it was just too bitter for me. It was too dark of a roast. And I've been using the AeroPress which is just a really odd, like these are the main components, of course, because I mean you have like the little filter system that you put the little paper filter in, and you know, a couple other things, but like this is the coffee machine right here. You push down slowly. It's got a great seal, so you know you're like literally just pushing whatever's in there, and then you have a little bit of crema on top because of the air. And I mean, and also what I've done with this coffee to make it taste better, I threw in like a tiny splash, like just a splash of vanilla extract, and then like, I guess I'll show you more so than mention it. But like if you look at this chocolate, right? See those little nodules? Maybe like a couple, 4 or 5, I don't know, tops. I went overboard one time and there was like way too many, but yeah, a couple of those in there as well, and it really kicks up the flavor quite a bit. And then of course, you know, some sugar and some heavy cream, which holy shit is expensive, just like the butter and the milk, and of course eggs are expensive. So yeah, everything's getting fucking overpriced. So I don't know how. Might have to actually like look into applying for food stamps. Who knows? Oh well. Have fun.